My name is Julia. I am 29 years old. This is the story of the most painful time in my life. It is hard for me to tell it, but I want to share it with you. Maybe someone will listen and understand me. Maybe someone will feel less alone after hearing my story. I met Ryan when I was 24 years old. He was my first serious boyfriend. I loved him very much. He made me feel special. He made me feel like I was the only girl in the world. He was kind in the beginning. He brought me coffee when I worked late. He sent sweet messages during the day. When I was sick, he stayed with me. I believed he really loved me. I trusted him with all my heart. I gave him everything: my love, my time, my care, and my dreams. After 1 year together, we moved in to live in the same apartment. It was a small flat, not very big, but it was enough for 2 people. We shared rent, food, and bills. I worked as a receptionist in a dental clinic, and he worked with computers. He had a good job and earned more than I did. Still, we lived simply. We ate together, watched movies, and sometimes went for walks. I felt happy. I thought this was love. Sometimes we had small fights. He did not like when I asked too many questions. He said I worried too much. He didn't like when I called him too often. He said I should trust him. I always felt a little nervous around him, but I told myself that every couple has problems. I didn't want to lose him, so I stayed quiet. I never shouted. I always said sorry first. I thought I was doing the right thing, but something changed. One day, I felt a strange pain in my stomach. It started at work. First it was small, but after a few hours, the pain got worse. I could not sit or stand. I could not walk. My face turned pale. My hands were cold. My coworker saw me and got worried. She called an ambulance. I was taken to the hospital very fast. I was scared. The pain was very strong. The doctor checked me and said I needed surgery. He said it was my appendix. It was serious and dangerous. If I waited more, it could burst. I was afraid. I was alone. I wanted Ryan with me. I wanted him to hold my hand and tell me everything would be okay. I called him before the surgery. My voice was shaking. "Ryan, I'm in the hospital. I need surgery tonight," I said. There was silence for a second. Then he answered, "Okay. I'll come tomorrow morning." His voice was cold. There was no, "Are you okay?" or "Don't worry, I'm coming now." Just, "Okay." I felt something inside me break a little, but I told myself maybe he was just shocked or busy. The next morning, I woke up in the hospital. I was tired and weak. My stomach hurt a lot. The nurse helped me sit up slowly. I looked around. I waited. I thought Ryan would come. I waited 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Still, he did not come. I checked my phone. There were no missed calls. No messages. Nothing. I sent him a message. I wrote, "Are you coming?" He replied 30 minutes later, "I'm busy. Something came up. I'll try later." That was all he said. No question. No care. I felt like crying. Later, the nurse came into the room. She smiled and asked, "Did anyone visit today?" I shook my head. "No," I said. I wanted to cry, but I held it in. The nurse looked at me with kind eyes and said, "Try to rest, dear. You will be okay." But I was not okay. I was hurting in my body, but also in my heart. I stayed in the hospital for 3 more days. Ryan did not come. He did not call again. He did not send a message. I started to wonder, was he angry with me? Was he tired of me? I tried not to think too much, but the pain in my heart grew each day. On the 4th day, the doctor told me I could go home. I sent Ryan a message. I said, "I'm getting discharged today. Can you come and pick me up?" He replied 1 hour later, "I'm at work. Just take a taxi." That was all. No sorry. No care. I could not believe it. I felt cold. My hands started to shake. A nurse helped me sit in a wheelchair. She asked, "Is someone coming for you?" I lied. I said, "Yes." But I knew no one was coming. I went outside. I called a taxi. I sat in the car alone. My stomach hurt. My heart hurt more. I wanted to cry, but I had no more tears. When I arrived at our apartment, something felt strange. I opened the door and looked inside. It was quiet. Too quiet. Then I saw it. His shoes were gone. His jacket was gone. His books were gone. I looked in the bedroom. His clothes were not there. His laptop was not there. I stood in the middle of the room. My legs felt weak. Then I saw a small piece of paper on the kitchen table. It said, "I think it's better if we take a break. Don't call me." That was it. No hello. No goodbye. No reason. No explanation. I could not speak. I could not move. I slowly sat on the floor. My body was shaking. I held my head in my hands and I cried. I cried like a child. He left me. He left me when I was in the hospital. He left without saying anything. He did not wait for me to come home. He did not care. I felt like trash. That night, I could not sleep. I stayed on the couch. I had no energy to eat. I had no strength to stand. I looked at the door, but I knew he would not come back. I called my best friend, Maya. I told her everything. She came right away. She brought soup and soft bread. She hugged me and let me cry on her shoulder. She cleaned the kitchen. She helped me go to the bathroom. I was very weak. She stayed with me that night. In the days after, I did not go to work. I stayed in bed. I looked at my phone all the time, but Ryan never called. I felt lost. I asked myself, was I not good enough? Was I too boring? Was I too weak? Maya came every day. She helped me eat and shower. One day she sat with me and said, "Julia, he left, but you are still here. You are still breathing. That means you are strong." I looked at the mirror that night. My eyes were red. My face was pale. But she was right. I was still here. I was not dead. I was broken, but I was still alive. I told myself, you will not let this destroy you. But I also knew it would take time. A long time. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. The first few weeks after Ryan left were the hardest. I woke up every morning and forgot, just for a second, that he was gone. Then I looked at the other side of the bed and saw the empty space. It was cold and quiet. No more good morning. No more smile. No more warm hand on my back. I stayed in bed most days. I looked at the window and watched the sky. Sometimes it was blue. Sometimes it rained. But it did not matter to me. I felt the same every day, sad, lost, and alone. Maya was the only person who helped me during this time. She came to my apartment almost every day. She brought food, helped me clean, and talked to me. Sometimes I did not want to talk, but she stayed anyway. She sat next to me and held my hand. She told me, "You don't have to be strong every day. It's okay to cry. But one day, you will get up, and I will be here when you do." Her words gave me hope, even when I felt empty. After 2 weeks, I went back to the clinic. My boss was kind. She said, "Take it slow. Do only what you can." My coworkers looked at me with soft eyes. They knew something had happened. I told them I was okay. I smiled, but it was not real. I only wanted to feel normal again, but I did not feel normal. Not yet. One afternoon, after work, I went to a small cafe near the clinic. It was quiet. I sat near the window and drank a cup of tea. I looked at the people walking outside. Some were alone. Some were with friends. Some were holding hands. I felt a little jealous. Why did Ryan leave me? What did I do wrong? These questions stayed in my head all the time. I wanted answers, but he never gave me any. One evening, Maya asked me, "Do you still love him?" I did not know what to say. I was quiet for a long time. Then I said, "I don't know. Maybe I loved who I thought he was. But now, I don't even know who he really is." She nodded and said, "That's okay. Feelings take time, but you are doing better." I didn't believe her at first, but maybe she was right. After 1 month, I started to change. I cleaned the house by myself. I went for small walks in the evening. I started to read books again. I bought flowers and put them in the kitchen. I wanted to feel alive again. The pain was still there, but it was not as sharp. It was more quiet now, more like a soft ache. Still, I felt it every day. One day, I opened my phone and saw Ryan's name. He had sent a message. My heart jumped. I did not want it to, but it did. The message said, "Hey, I hope you're okay." That was all. Nothing more. No sorry. No explanation. I stared at the message for a long time. I did not know if I should answer. I wanted to ask him why he left me like that. I wanted to tell him how much he hurt me, but I also wanted to stay quiet. I closed the message and turned off my phone. That night, I cried again. Not because I missed him, but because I was angry. I gave him love. I gave him care. And he walked away when I was weak and in pain. I was in the hospital. I needed him. But he left. He did not just leave the apartment. He left my heart. He threw away our time together like it meant nothing. The next day, I told Maya about the message. She looked at me and said, "You don't need to answer. He had his chance. He left it behind." I nodded. I knew she was right. I deleted the message. I blocked his number. I felt a small bit of peace after that. My hands stopped shaking. My breath was slower. My heart was still sore, but it felt a little lighter. A few weeks later, something new happened. I met someone. His name was Adam. He was the new IT guy at the clinic. He was quiet, polite, and kind. He always smiled when he passed me in the hallway. He helped fix my computer one day. I thanked him and he said, "Anytime." That was the start. We did not talk much at first, but every day we shared a few more words. One day, he brought me a coffee and said, "I remembered you said you like this." I was surprised. It was sweet and warm. I smiled, for real this time. I did not tell Adam about Ryan. It was too soon. I was still healing, but it felt nice to talk to someone new. He did not ask too many questions. He just listened. His eyes were calm. His voice was soft. I did not feel nervous around him. I felt safe. I did not feel love yet, but I felt something, a small light, a little hope. One Sunday afternoon, I went for a walk by myself. I wore my favorite sweater. The air was cool and fresh. I walked past the park where Ryan and I used to go. For a moment, I felt sad again. But then I looked around. There were children playing. There were dogs running. There were people laughing. And I was walking. I was alive. I was healing. I told myself, "You made it this far. You can go further." That night, I sat at my desk and opened my journal. I wrote, "Today I walked alone and felt okay. Ryan is part of my past. I am not waiting for him. I am not waiting for an apology. I am moving on." After I wrote that, I closed the book and smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. I don't know what will happen with Adam. I don't know if we will become something more. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. But I know one thing now. I will never again love someone who leaves me in my darkest moment. I will never again beg for care or kindness. I deserve love that stays. Love that holds my hand when I am scared. Love that doesn't walk away when I am lying in a hospital bed. I still remember the pain, but I also remember how far I have come. And I am proud of myself for standing up again. A few months passed. I felt different. I felt stronger. My life was not perfect, but I started to enjoy small things again. I woke up early, made my own coffee, and listened to soft music in the kitchen. I went to work with calm thoughts. I helped the patients at the clinic and smiled when I talked to them. I laughed again, not every day, but more than before. I still had some pain inside, but it was not heavy like before. It did not control me anymore. Adam and I started to talk more. He was quiet, but friendly. He liked books, and I liked books too. One day during lunch break, I asked him what kind of stories he liked. He smiled and said, "I like stories with hope." I looked at him and said, "Me too." After that, we talked every day. We did not go on dates, but we sat together during lunch. He told me about his hometown. He told me about his cat, Max. He showed me pictures of Max sleeping in funny places. I laughed a lot. It felt good to laugh. One Friday evening, Adam asked, "Do you want to grab a coffee after work?" I was quiet for a second. I was nervous, but then I said yes. We walked to a small coffee shop near the bus stop. The air was cool. The shop was quiet. We sat near the window. We talked about simple things: work, food, books, music. He did not ask me about my past, and I did not ask about his. I felt safe with him. That night, I slept with a smile on my face. Over the next few weeks, Adam and I spent more time together. We met at the park on weekends. We talked for hours. Sometimes we just sat in silence. But the silence felt easy, not heavy. One afternoon, I told him, "I'm not ready for anything serious. I'm still healing." He looked at me and said, "That's okay. I'm not in a hurry." His words were simple, but they made me feel respected. He did not push. He did not run away. He stayed. One day, something unexpected happened. I was walking home from the supermarket when I saw Ryan. He was walking with a woman. She was holding his arm. They were smiling. I stopped walking. I could not move for a second. My heart beat fast. I looked at them from across the street. Ryan did not see me. I stood there and watched them for a moment. Then I turned and walked away. My hands were cold. My eyes were full. But I did not cry. I just walked home slowly. That night, I sat on my bed and thought about what I saw. I asked myself, do I miss him? The answer was no. I did not miss him. But I did feel something. I felt sad. Not for him, but for the girl next to him. I hoped she would not feel what I felt. I hoped he had changed. But deep down, I knew he probably didn't. People like him say many things, but they don't stay when things get hard. I wanted to tell her, be careful, but I couldn't. That was not my place. I just let it go. The next morning, I woke up and made a choice. I opened my closet and took out an old box. Inside it were pictures of Ryan and me, old birthday cards, notes, a scarf he gave me. I looked at everything one last time. Then I put it all in a bag. I threw the bag in the bin outside. I went back into the house and felt light. I felt free. Later that day, I called Maya. I told her what I did. She said, I'm proud of you. You let go. I smiled and said, yes. I think I really did. Maya had always been there for me. She saw me at my worst. Now she was seeing me rise. I thanked her for everything. She laughed and said, that's what friends are for. The days passed slowly but gently. Adam and I grew closer. One Sunday morning, we went to the lake. The sun was warm. The sky was blue. We sat on a bench and watched the water. I looked at him and said, thank you for being patient with me. He looked back and said, you're worth the wait. I felt my heart open just a little more. I was not in love yet, but I was no longer afraid of love. I started to believe again. I believed that real love does not leave you in pain. Real love does not run away when you are broken. Real love holds your hand. Real love listens. Real love waits. 1 year after Ryan left me, I looked back at my life and felt proud. I had changed. I was not the same girl who cried alone on the floor. I was not the girl who waited for a message that never came. I was not the girl who begged for love. I was a woman who stood up again, a woman who healed, a woman who learned how to love herself. I know now that being alone is better than being with someone who doesn't care. I know that real love starts with respect and kindness. I know that healing takes time, but it is possible. And I know that the worst moment of my life also became the start of a new one. Ryan was my past. Adam was maybe my future, but I was my present. And for the first time in a long time, that was enough.